Loud?
Oh.
We could go, I think you could sell a room.
This is not what I intended to do, but it's okay. I'm actually enjoying this.
Yeah.
Have you, by the way, have you read the book by the Luna Wynn book? Luna Oy book?
No.
Oh, okay. Yeah, could get you a copy of that sometime.
What is it?
It's like the principles of the philosophy of dialectical materialism. And I think it actually, I've been reading a bunch of books, but I think this one seems to be very, it's a lot, it's like, I was like, oh shit, I can actually program this out and actually see if I could actually write this as like a dialectical database that actually, where you can actually sort ideas according to
is the thing that I'm describing maximizing gain is like the extreme polarity. Is that a dialectic or is that a dichotomy? Because I've been using those words kind of interchangeably.
Okay.
I don't actually know what the difference is. Wait, I almost want to like Google this really quick.
I don't know.
That's cool.
Oh, that's nice. Hollywood running. I love Hollywood.
Me too. I'm really glad it's a thing that exists. It's so fun to show your non-tech friends. They're like, oh, what?
Yeah, it's like, no, this is just bullshit, man.
I mean, it's a bunch of. I think there are some useful tools running. Like that's LS. This is I think that's probably your IP tables or some shit.
No.
This
this looks like.
Oh, they're bytes, but.
Yeah.
Oh, what happened? Oh, it just restarted.
Oh.
There's HTOP in there.
HTOP is
There's a bunch
wonderful.
of like random tools. I think it might be all real.
That is
mapping.
What?
There's like the matrix. I guess
C matrix. Yeah.
C matrix.
Yeah, C matrix. I actually know how to make commands on it. I always like to do it sometimes just to stare at it while watching podcasts.
That's funny.
Yeah, I also like to use cool retro terminal while doing it. Which is fun. But I can't do it because I'm using Alpine on this machine and cool retro terminal doesn't work on it. Well, mostly because I just didn't want to install it. Cute. Oh, is this yours?
Wait, what is it? Economy's two ideas that are locked in a permanent structural division. They're opposites that can never mix. That's what I'm describing as a dichotomy. A dialectic is two opposing ideas interacting, evolve, eventually merging to create a new hydrogen. Oh, interesting. Okay, I'm not describing it as dialectic there at all.
Dialectic and dichotomy. Okay, so there's like the concept in the world. In like they call it dialectical materialism for a reason. There's like the other end which is called dialectical idealism.
Idealism. Sorry, continue.
Sure. There's dialectical materialism and dialectical idealism. Materialism assumes that the world is, well, our understanding the world and the world itself are two different things. If the world proves an idea wrong, the idea should be updated to match the rule of the world. You don't cling to an idea once it stops being useful.
Wait. You said dialectic materialism and dialectic idealism. I love that this is transcript printing. This is going to be so useful.
Yeah.
Wait, so idealism, materialism. That if things prove the world wrong, the idea should be updated to match the rule of the world. That is materialism or idealism. Which one is that?
Idealism is often when you cling to an idea, and sometimes you just have to feel like to fight to prove the idea to be true. Or you sometimes just, I don't know, use suppression of burning books and, I don't know. Most forms of idealism just end up leading to some kinds of censorship.
And then materialism is the opposite? You should test your ideas and let reality, decide if they're good or not.
Okay, let's talk about. I actually did like to kind of entertain the idea of idealism once upon a time, and I actually remember like having an RPG that's set in a world that is called it is sort of a coherent ideology of pure idealism of like an idealism. I think it's called Berkeley. I forget the exact. But this guy was called Berkeley, and he created a form of idealism that the world exists because of observers. But what happens when something happens and no one observed it? Well, he used it as a way to justify God. God's observation is what actually creates the world, and that we observe his observation. But I was like, well, doesn't that just sort of prove that, I don't know. In the World of Darkness, classic World of Darkness, I love that RPG. It is very fun because you got like vampires, werewolves, and all kinds of crazy shit in like it's like a modern fantasy world. But then there's also like mages that are like, they have part of the gods within them that make them give them the ability to like adjust reality. Like, oh, I do like this little dance and then this weird special thing. There's limits about what they could do. Like, they can't like escape the earth and like just jump off the earth or something crazy like that. There are limits what they could do, but they still have like, they're able to manipulate the world. But the way that they manipulate the world is through the consensus reality of all humans. Like, that's the idea of like an idealistic world, but this is also what like Donald Trump and a lot of fascists think. Reality itself doesn't matter to them, because I just need to like be really loud on the megaphone, and if I could get all my people to believe this.
Trump's an idealist?
Oh, yes.
Oh, okay. Wait, hang on. Here's the question. Are materialism and idealism, those a dichotomy? Those are opposites? Is that what you're saying? Walk with me for 1 second. I need to grab my
in general, yes,
stuff
but
from
people
over
could
here.
be, but people are usually more complex than that, or they might end up being idealistic in certain ways.
People are more complex? Sorry, that was in response to what now? I'm like trying to multitask.
Sorry, you were asking the question: Are they a dichotomy?
Yeah, and you're saying it's. Answer it one more time. I'm sorry. Like I did not catch the first part of your sentence.
I said. Well, sometimes, generally, yes, because it's a question about what ideas are in people's head. But people could be idealistic about some things, but be materialist in others. They might be clinging to like, I don't know, concepts. Like, I don't know.
I see what you mean.
It's like some people.
I see what you mean. There are some.
They might be otherwise cool when they might believe in God, or I mean, I might even have some weird idea.
Patchwork of weird ideas.
Yeah.
And not. It's so interesting to me because I've definitely noticed this. Like, I think like I don't have the map of all the philosophies like.
Yeah.
In my head, but if I did, I think I could like. It would be almost like a personality type. Like your personal philosophy is like your personality type, maybe.
I mean,
something close.
I mean,
Shit! My phone.
Oh,
okay. Hang on.
Probably left it over there. But yeah.
Oh, it is out here. Okay. Damn. Okay, wait. Do you think that knowing someone's personal philosophy tells you their personality? Damn. I think that's where personality science should be going, though. Is that like I can describe what you're like as an individual by understanding enough things about your perspective, you know?
Yes and no. Like, here, there's a bunch of, like, I always find a lot of arguments between various communists tiresome, because it's like, okay, you are complaining about whether Stalin was good or bad. I'm like, okay, is Stalin going to do anything right now? That's kind of like my attitude. It's like, yeah, you could learn from his mistakes. And like, yeah, all the people who kind of thought, yeah, Stalin was a pretty good guy, but we should learn from his mistakes. And so. It's like, okay. So really, they are still kind of being idealistic because they're clinging to ideas.
Okay, so this is an interesting point of political philosophy. I would love to discuss this with you because I have always wondered, essentially, like, what is the communist perspective? Like, I have heard a lot of political ideologists say essentially, like, the tragedies of the 20th century in terms of communism were all just like a giant red flag that communism as an ideology is like fundamentally not it. It's like they frame it as a dichotomy, like capitalism versus communism. Capitalism is just better. That's how they frame it.
And look at China.
But
China is found a way to do both.
Both to some extent, but like
They do it way they're doing both, but they only say, hey, capitalism is useful to our project to this extent, and once it goes against our interests, we start cracking skulls on anyone who's breaking the clearly defined laws that they were supposed not to break. I mean,
there's like a little potentiometer, so like you'll turn it and the lights will
But they actually killed a few bankers. Not too happy with the death penalty personally, but it's bankers. Oh, China and Vietnam. When they there was some embezzlement of funds. You know, kind of like how 2008 kind of thing. It's like none of our people none of the people back in here were prosecuted for that, but they were prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law and sentenced to death. Which, I mean, I'm not too happy with the death penalty personally, but it's also even as much as we want to do something, maybe hey, we don't like China for doing these things or those things. It's we're not Chinese. So we should try to build a society meeting our needs. They wouldn't do things their way. We'll do things our way. It's you give people you don't have to. It's okay if they're not perfect. You just don't cling to if they're.
Do you think that you don't think that there is a best political philosophy?
I just don't know what it is. I mean, but I don't know all the particulars of it. And I don't think that the entire philosophy and every decision of everything, there was always going to be oversights, tiny details, marginalized groups that we weren't paying attention to before that now are becoming a bit more vocal, and we need to be able to incorporate their concerns into our next iteration of a current process. Where the socialist project it's a process, not these are our specific beliefs. I mean, I do have specific beliefs, but that's because I've just heard hey, women are being treated kind of shitty. That we got to get rid of white supremacy all over. Really fucked up. Convinces white people that they're a bunch of bad things, and then also just also hurts a lot of ethnic minorities as well. And it really fundamentally just weakens society as a whole. So therefore, it actually undermines the general. I mean, I do have goals. I think I want kind of generally what you're saying, make people the best, a little bit more idealist maybe from my perspective, make people as close to God as they could by, close to God meaning, their ideal optimal self. Their best optimal versions of themselves. Don't put too many things in the way of that, but also give people something to work towards. Don't make things unnecessarily difficult. It's that's generally it. It's first thing communists do, teach people education. If people are educated and learn how to read and write, they could actually know how to make decisions for themselves. Hey, there's have you ever heard of the thing called the mass line? The mass line is a thing that's very common in Maoist and a bunch of other circles.
I'm going for the woodworking.
So it's the idea of the mass line is you're not clinging to, we made a decision. It's first you hear from the people. The people go up the line, and up the line you might get some experts who actually know how to fix problems. We could say, this is a major problem, let's allocate resources to solving this problem. We go just try to solve that problem. after we solve the problem, we could go back to the people and say, the people that was allegedly supposed to be helping, hey, how much did this help? Maybe there were some ways we could have helped more. Maybe there were some things that were wrong-headed. But it's good to always get that feedback. You're always getting a feedback between people who are able to implement solutions and the people affected by the solution. There's a back and forth.
Are you explaining your political philosophy now? Do you have a...
That's general. Well, this is the way I think things ought to be run, yes. And I usually judge communist parties based on to what extent I think that they are capable of implementing a mass line.
What's mass line? Is that something?
What I was just talking about. It's also something that...
one more time, what is mass line? Because...
Sorry?
What is it one more time? Just briefest overview?
The brief.
Yeah.
There is a dialectic between the people who are able to solve problems and the people who are affected by the problems. Mm-hmm. The purpose is to not necessarily cling to the solutions that were implemented. We try to solve the problems, and then we try to iterate on trying to see how we can optimize that as much as possible. Of course, limited resources, there's only so much you can help, but we should always be able to be always going back and forth. Hey, maybe we didn't fix it perfectly this time in this community, but maybe we'll be able to fix it better next time in another community. Things like that. Because the current political process is talk to liberals who will propose a...
Can you walk with me to the kitchen?
Yeah, sure.
Wait, so... You're kind of saying that this stuff is self-evident, though. We are, you think it's all this stuff is self-evident that some people are more capable than other people, but it doesn't make them better than other people. Because I think
I don't think people are necessarily better. I think if they have fewer problems,
that is what you were saying, right? They were kind of
if they have fewer problems in the way, they can become experts in their own right. Instead, they're not. They can become experts in their own right. I mean, they're experts in their own suffering. Certainly, everyone's the expert in their own suffering. But they could. But you could also hey, to what extent can you fix it yourself? It's probably good because it costs less resources to do so, to address it. You're saying it's self-evident? Maybe not. What wasn't self-evident?
Just do you believe that it's self-evident that what you're saying is should be true to everyone? That everyone should think that. If they're really
I've just never
about
heard it. I've never heard a good argument against it. Maybe can you explain?
I think a lot of people don't think that.
Why? What don't
some
they
people,
think? They think that some people are naturally better than other people, or that the strong should crush the weak.
I guess that is I don't know, classism, racism, something like that.
It's
I guess you're right. But well. I grew up in a really religious context.
Oh, okay.
Extremely religious. It was a cult. I use that word to sort of paint a picture in one word because that's how intense it was.
Yeah,
but
I could tell.
But the people I was around growing up were all really intense about the philosophy of their religion, and
that seems to be true to you to this day.
Yeah. I'm very intense about it.
I noticed that you focus on making your whole thing just to be focusing that everything is a dichotomy and nothing is a dialectic.
No, I don't think that.
Oh, okay. Maybe
I think there's just one area where I think it is a dichotomy, not a dialectic. Well, I don't think that everything is a dichotomy, not a dialectic.
I mean, I think some people. Okay, look at it from this way.
I actually don't even know if that is true, but I think it is. I think it is. It seems like every time I think about it, in order to get the best opportunities. You have to let go of focusing on protecting yourself, and it's never like I would blame someone for focusing on protecting themselves, because like I think that like knowing how to not do it is a specific skill in every area of life. Does that make sense?
I think everyone should have a right to protect themselves to a certain extent. Like, I mean, of course, you could protect yourself to an extreme extent, and then it becomes like, I don't know, you isolate yourself, or you like become like every excuse to kill someone. It's something stupid like that.
I'm glad you're here.
Yeah.
People make a lot of art. Yeah, like you think that every like nation like has like a Bill of Rights?
Okay. What do you think a right is? I don't actually believe rights are things. They are something that emerges. That
Well, I mean, go on.
It's sort of
have like a whole spiel about this, but let me stop.
rights. The concept of rights is idealist,
Yeah.
I guess. But in effect, yeah. I mean, I act and want to promote things that act like I believe in rights. Yes, even though we want to get down into nitty gritty. No, I don't actually believe rights are real. I think rights are like they're things that we discover over time through like I don't know, discovery of righting wrongs, or who knows. At some point, we'll say everyone has a right to the internet. Like, and I think that was it's. And
I see what you mean. I see what you mean. Like that probably is like the best answer for the question, right? Because, that political ideology, like 200 years ago, when Americans were all owning slaves, was probably like it probably was like a lot of people who believed it, but it was very divisive. I think there were a lot of people who didn't believe it.
That's different. I think that's different. I don't defend slavers at all.
Yeah.
There were tons of abolitionists who, and the slaves in particular, knew it was wrong. There was slave riots, and they had to keep on killing them in order to stop. They had to keep on killing them in order to keep that despicable institution around for as long as they had. And they wouldn't get rid of the goddamn institution without a bunch of abolitionists like John Brown and a bunch of other people.
Yeah.
And like John Brown, the slaves also helping and fighting the Civil War by like giving the Northern Union intel and digging ditches for them, because they were pretty happy to like stick it to them. Because
is there a name for this reality where like I guess it's like the Overton window in politics, like what is considered to be what is considered to be moral changes over time, right? Like as we learn and grow, I guess.
Let me talk about some weird things that I might.
Did the Overton window ever go back in a circle? Is it a line, or is it a potentially like there are things that loop around as they're popular in society? I don't know.
True, there is that, but I mean, maybe I'm a bit idealist and still kind of believe that slavery is always wrong. There were societies that never, like, I agree. But I mean, I could understand maybe it came out under particular conditions where it was useful, probably for a certain set of people, and there was just no real ability to stop it from happening. Probably just from like, I don't know.
Do you mind sliding that board over to me and reading the next one? Right.
Oh, sorry. What were we talking about?
I remember.
Still.
But it's on the transcript. I love this transcription app so much. It's called Transcribe by Google. Google Transcribe.
Oh, you're doing Google Transcribe?
Yeah, do you know it?
Why are you using Google?
It's just the best transcription tool that I have found.
What, FudoPie?
FudoPie?
Yeah, it's local.
It's a transcription app.
Yep.
But does it play back the transcript for you, and then when you double tap on the words on the page, it jumps the audio to that place, so you can listen to the audio and read it at the same time?
Not too happy with this being Google.
Oh, okay. Oh, it does seem to be local. Like, they don't seem like they automatically collect data. It's like there's an option to save it to Google Drive.
Whatever. I don't mind talking about this, but I do find it is a bit weird.
Okay.
But yeah. Is it still going?
I have a different transcription tool if you would prefer to use that.
Yeah. It's a bit. So if I have a misconception about, I don't know, like the Aztecs, for example, like for some reason, some of them were convinced. Maybe I'm a bit oversimplifying, but some of them were convinced you need to sacrifice humans, otherwise the sun won't rise. You know, people have developed all kinds of weird ideologies under like cult-like institutions, but there is like they believe that, therefore they do this. But sometimes it's just like, you know, there's a bunch of people who do better though. But also like people's thinking of gender, the way someone ought to be, is kind of that too. It's what makes fascists hate trans people so much for that reason. It's because it's like it violates the way the world ought to be. There are men, there are women, or men who are feminine, but this is like violates what ought to be. So they want to make the world what they think it ought to be, to make it what it is.
The opposite of thinking it ought to be is just thinking about what is. Are you saying that like it is a philosophy to just think about what is about a lot of things instead of thinking about what ought to be? Like how do you pick what things ought to be? Like how do you pick which philosophies you have that are things that ought to be? Like, do you believe in that?
I think okay. I mean, unless that's like the pure neutralism of it is what it is, no matter what. But I really don't think. But if something is, I mean, in general, like, you know, Buddha, he sought out, he saw like the four sights, and he thought he wanted to get rid of the things that cause people to suffer. He wanted to reduce or end suffering, to make the world less painful, to make people come to terms with the things that they cannot change: sickness, death. I forgot them all. I'm embarrassed, but yeah, things that make people suffer, like.
It's because of the marijuana. I can't remember everything all the time. You're saying that this is fundamental. I do think, I believe that there is an ultimate direction of truth, and it's not arbitrary.
Which kind of truth?
What is or ought to be?
Yeah. Like there probably is, but what ought? I
guess what ought to be. I get what ought to be. I think like there is like
Probably, we might be able to suss it out. We'll find. I mean. But here's another thing. Like, here's a concept.
I'm not sure that I can suss it out, but I think it should be doable.
What if it turns out that bacteria feel pain?
Fuck it.
Yeah, what if bacteria feel pain? Or plants feel pain? And as a result, we have developed the technology to evolve ourselves, to like augment ourselves to become lithivores, to consume nutrients directly from machines.
Wait, are you saying that it would be murder to kill a bacteria if they could feel pain?
Well, but it would be unrealistic to even impose that standard upon us now, for obvious reasons.
Mm-hmm.
But because of changing the nature of what is through the advances of technology, what becomes moral might also change.
you kind of have a point. You're saying it might be or might not be, but also like wanting it might be just like making your life worse. Like focusing on it might make your life worse.
Oh yeah, obviously, because then you just feel bad for every, like, there's certain things, like, we live under capitalism. It sucks. I'm sort of acting as a parasite, but I really don't really, I find it very difficult to act in a way that isn't kind of parasitical to, like, the working class of, like, developing nations. Like, most of, like, anything that gives me sort of significant pleasures, a lot of it comes from, like, things made under unfair exploitative conditions. Like, if I were an abolitionist, back in, like, the 1860s, I'd probably still own a cotton shirt.
Yeah.
I'd probably feel bad about it, but, you know, it's kind of like, it's like...
Actually, I will admit that I don't think I believed in being happy. I don't think that was a conscious belief of mine. But also, like, I've always, like, wanted to be so driven that I wasn't, like, if I didn't achieve big things, then I wouldn't be happy with myself.
That's an attachment.
Yeah. Huh. I don't think I would have verbalized it that way before, though. I don't think I was consciously aware that I was doing that.
Yeah.
I think I would have just said that I'm ambitious. And,
Oh, yes, because that's you're identifying with yourself.
Yeah.
That was tied to yourself.
yeah.
But it's not you. It's just something that you feel like you'd be insufficient without. You'd come to terms with it and still probably try to pursue the things you want to do. It doesn't tell you to stop. It just means don't be attached to the outcome.
Yeah.
I was spinning out for years. That's kind of why I came to this. For this exact same reason. Driven by ambition. But ambition in excess of overthinking about it doesn't actually lead to any good results. It just makes you feel guilty. So.
I guess. I like that a lot. I wonder if that would. That's so weird, actually. I feel like I actually don't know why I don't want to do that. I feel like it's pride.
Oh, and that's okay. I'm not saying you should or should not. You just point out why you suffer. As long as you're aware of why you suffer and you still go on through, just realize, oh, you can just sort of laugh about it. Like, just laugh about it. That's like what it means to be detached. you just, oh yeah, I am. This is the thing that I wear. It's useful to have around. It's this mask I use to be part of who I am.
This is the first time I think Eastern mysticism is ever. Like, what would you call this? This is Buddhist philosophy?
Generally, yeah.
That's the first time it's been explained to me in a way that made sense to me.
Yeah. It's really all it is.
Huh. I like it. There's definitely some wisdom there.
Yeah. I kind of also like the particular group I found out. I read. Yeah. I don't want to tell you too much about what I was. I don't want to record that, but I can tell you later.
Okay. I'd have to change. I'd have to, I think, like, give up most of my motivations to, like, make something of myself.
Oh.
I'm not sure that I would be somebody that I'm proud of when I'm older. If I give up on my ambitions.
I'm not telling you to give up. I'm not telling you to give up anything.
Okay.
Well, maybe give up your full attachment to it. It's like, what do you want to accomplish? And what can you actually accomplish? Things are getting pretty fucking tough out here.
Mm-hmm.
This is a shit time to be born. Like I told you before, it could be approaching a time like Weimar Germany, but maybe not so bad. But still, it's not this oil crisis.
This is crazy. Like, that philosophy probably has like a massive influence on how you view the progress of technology, right?
Huh.
You're not like a Luddite, but I bet you probably are not as like super pro like advancing technology too much.
Technology is a means to an ends towards making people's lives easier. I don't think technology should necessarily be advanced for its own sake. Maybe science, but science should probably be also researched with, careful considerations of ethical standards. I don't think it's a very extreme position, but...
Okay, it's funny. This made me think about the style of story writing where you prefer like a real world experience versus like a happy story. Like I grew up reading novels a lot, and I was strongly favoring books where like there's a happy ending, especially or like there's like. And I always thought it was because I was empathic, but I feel like it might be because of this difference in worldview, where like
you and I aren't that different. I'm actually kind of the same.
You like that also? Books like that or like stories like that?
Kind of. I really do like anime where there's stories where someone actually does a good thing and actually makes the world better for it.
Yeah, me too. I like
I like stories where because a lot of stories now I see like mostly Western stories. A lot of it's just sort of I feel like it's low grade propaganda trying to make people feel like that hope is pointless. Like not like hey, through collective struggle we could actually build something good together. People coming together and building something good.
Yeah.
I mean that's the thing I always think. And in truth, it has happened many times. You just don't hear about it that often in the capitalist media. They don't tell you about the successes that the communist projects have brought. What good they brought before the United States destroyed them. They were really... I mean, did they have internal problems? Sure, but that's like trying to build anything. You're not going to go to war with the army you have. No?
Wait, no, I wasn't saying no. What do you think that? Do you believe in nation states?
They're a means to an end.
Okay. But you're communist ideologist.
I don't know if I call it ideologist. It's just certain.
You believe in communism.
I believe it is one of many. So socialism, like there's multiple kinds of communists.
Okay.
So I believe in like transitionary states. Yeah. So that's like socialism, and socialism usually needs to happen under particular. You have to like build a dialectic from the future world we want to have and acknowledging the world that is now, and build the bridge between the two. The dialectic between the two. Find what's good and find the means to build that structure.
You don't believe in going for the whole thing. You just believe in whatever makes the world a little bit better.
Well,
You're not trying to like think of the best way to do something and like jump all the way to the end. Like I guess I have sort of a very utopian view that that's going to happen.
That is literally the difference between scientific socialism and utopian socialism. You actually understand it. And utopianism is Marx always criticized people for being idealistic. They're clinging on to ideas of, oh, this wasn't so perfect. It's like, dude, they got the water clean.
How much of your Buddhist philosophy overlaps with your political philosophy?
I was first a communist, you know that.
I didn't know.
Yeah, I was always a communist. I kind of used to read a lot.
I don't think we've talked in 2 years, dude.
Yeah, I used to read the Tao Te Ching a lot, but but Taoism also talks about dialectics as well. Although a lot of people find it difficult to understand because it's, I don't know. I mean, the Tao Te Ching is probably a bit more structured than, like, again, some of his Lao Tzu's other work. But a lot of it is just sort of a joke, sort of like a joke trying to make fun of your understanding. It's like, a lot of it is like, it's philosophical trolling. You think, oh, there's something really there. It's like, no. The point is that there is no story. No.
I always hate that because I feel like there's a lot of... Okay. I think it matters how you say things. Like, the effort with which you put into, like, describing your philosophy accurately, like, shows how much you care about it, and also, like, makes it more effective. And I don't like when people, like, half-assedly throw out stuff that they haven't thought about and doesn't make any sense. But because they say it so forcefully, it sort of, like, convinces people who aren't thinking about philosophy all the time that they know what they're talking about because they say it forcefully. I don't like that.
I've been reading an interesting book on who pays the pipers of Western Marxism. There's like a very interesting, contentious book about people who are complaining about the Western Marxists versus the Eastern Marxists. People call it Western versus Eastern. Some people find that division a bit annoying, but it's like people who in the United States whining about people who actually built something. It's kind of like they might have built something flawed, but they built something. Whereas, like, United States, like, there are no communist groups that have significant power. Like, they've lost the propaganda war. A lot of them were killed. A lot of other things. Or imprisoned. Like, the Black Panther Party was probably one of the biggest ones.
They were communistic?
Oh, yeah. They were a Maoist group.
That's so interesting. It's like, it's very, very similar to my experience with religion. Like, I know a lot of, I think my dad, he's a political extreme, he's a philosophical extremist. I think I am too. I don't know if it's genetic or nature or nurture, you know, but
nurture, definitely nurture.
You think so?
Well,
actually, I think now that after talking with you, I think I'm starting to see why. You're probably right. Yeah, I think it was nurture.
I mean, you might be. Then again, you could. But it could also be a bit of nature. So there is like a thing of like autistic people tend to often like have difficulty discerning binary. Dialectics is hard for them.
Yeah.
Because they can't really see binaries. But there's also another thing that autistic.
Wait. I feel like it's opposite. I feel like all my autistic friends are people who think only in binary. Like, they're really extreme.
Yeah, it's common.
They're usually also like brilliant, like really smart, but also they think in like really extreme polarity.
Yeah, but there's also another type of impairment, psychological impairment that also gives you that kind of thinking. And that type of thinking is caused usually by like deep trauma. And religious extremism usually is very traumatic.
Interesting, yeah.
Then they'll be like saying,
so true.
Like, you can't say, I want to cut my meat consumption a little. Yeah, I should probably do that. You know, just cut meat off every other day. It's like, no, I'm either vegan or I'm Jordan Peterson. It's like
yeah. For real. Actually, I was thinking about this recently. Like, thinking about how like my dad, presumably at one point before he converted to Christianity and became like. He was Catholic before that. He's a Christian philosopher, kind of like it just like imposed like a really dramatic and draconian sort of like lifestyle on his wife and kids, and also like sought out people who had like the most extreme interpretations of the Bible, and really just like only consumed stuff from those people. He's a crazy person. He's also very intelligent, and
What is that?
But I'm trying not to be that way.
Yeah.
And the more I learn, like the more I get out into the world, the more I realize, like, he had a completely different religion and ideology before he converted to Christianity. He must have a switch must have flipped. Like, so something bad must have happened. Like you said, like emotional trauma, or like I don't know, because like he went from being a presumably normal kid who grew up in like a stable home and turned out to be, my dad.
You might.
And I don't know.
You probably won't tell you. And you gotta live with the mystery of it.
Yeah.
It sucks, but you can't. Like, I don't know all the stories of my dad either. And
Are your parents? Do they believe what you believe? Have you? No.
no. Well, Dad's dead, so I can't say.
Would you call yourself a philosophical extremist?
I personally don't think I am. I try not to be. I try to think about what's pragmatic.
Yeah.
And I honestly think communism is just the sense of. I think about building communism a very particular way that's pragmatic. I'm not, because, I don't know, doing stuff that causes too much karmic backlash is, I don't know, it's just not worth it. It's just not worth it. Don't be like that guy who claims he Marxist who blew up Bidwell's mansion. Like, that's just stupid. Like, I kind of agree, yeah, but like, there's a lot of other things you could have done with that. You could have like worked with the local tribes, try to give it back to the tribes, make it like, sort of like, try to like do a legal thing to actually make the local tribes actually take ownership of that land, and then that could actually be used as a tribal center and try to help bring back those traditions and also learn about local flora, fauna, and try to find indigenous uses for those things in such a way that would be like very, very good for the environment in the long run, so that we can actually like, hey, do natural food, use natural stuff that's built within this area, and find all the wonderful unique uses of it.
Good.
Sorry, really, I do have a soft spot for indigenous people.
Okay. I mean, nothing wrong with that. I'm interested where, like, okay, so I'm trying to figure out why you are so interested in philosophy. I feel like most people don't wake up and choose philosophy. It's like a sort of like you said, kind of like a trauma response almost. Like to be really interested in philosophy is usually like it's like a.
One of the problems like we couldn't get
yes,
computers.
absolutely,
yeah.
And also like you can't run them on AIM.
Or you're taught it. Like I think I was taught it, but also
I guess you could say I was heavily isolated from my
think
community.
Isaac's
Okay.
kind of the shit, but
I don't want to go into too much detail while Google's recording.
Okay, that's right.
But yeah.
I guess okay. So you're just chilling and living your best life. You believe in detachment, but also you want to change the world for the better with moderate policy change, not extreme policy change, because you're not a utopian idealist.
I mean, I'll take this out. During extreme times, I don't know what you mean by moderate or extreme, I guess.
Well, you said you wanted to implement moderate policy change because you don't want to upset the basket. You don't want to,
I feel like that is
upset
like
things too much.
You're
not a utopian idealist. You don't believe in shooting for the best possible.
Oh, I believe in shooting for the best possible thing. The best way to achieve the best possible outcomes is through realistically like laying a foundation for the next generation to build an even better world. Do layups, build institutions. It's not. I do. Who knows? When the revolution happens, whenever it happens, it's not. I'm not attached to the outcome, but the revolution happens not because of what I do, or even what like any one party does. The revolution will happen due to the failure of the current institutions to actually keep their shit together. And then the things that I hope the communists build, hopefully, are the institutions that will survive and replace the existing institutions. It's not. We don't need to do work to destroy capitalism. Capitalism is destroying itself actively. Look at Trump. It's like it's sort of amusing. Like,
Dude, I actually am very interested in Trump because as a president, he's a crazy person, but as a con man, he's probably one of the most brilliant con men ever. And I think there's a lot of wisdom to be taken from the ideologies that such people possess. They're like extraordinarily effective at achieving their personal goals. And if
Have
they're
you read How to Make Friends and Influence People?
yeah, that's the kind of thing that I'm focusing on trying to do better.
Why?
Because I believe that it's not just a more powerful life in terms of like influencing the world. It's a much more fulfilling life. You are going to be more happy if you have more understanding about how to get
if you have some basic credits going in, it's pretty easy.
more engagement with people. I think the meaning of life is to love and be loved, and I think like the purpose of life is to evolve. And like the best cross section of those two things is the most integrated social life that you can have, and like with the most integrated social understanding. And so, I don't know. That's something.
It's something that like
That's what I'm trying to do.
it's a little bit too much of the self attached to that.
Okay.
I'm not saying that's wrong. I'm just saying I'm not telling you to stop the things that you're trying to do necessarily.
I'm not even sure if it's possible. It's just been my
What happens?
my assumption. I guess.
How are you going to?
Okay, that's cool.
How you are going to die?
Yeah.
What if you? How will you feel it when you die?
You still gotta know.
I think that-
gotta know things, and you still gotta have a brain that works. So
That's a great question.
That is
I think
important.
my mental state is relatively low key, not the best all the time, but I think I'm understanding how to make it better. And like I'm much more social than I used to be.
Yeah. Yeah, you
And
see that now. I
you
can see
see
that.
dog? Yeah, I'm much more social than I used to be.
You used to be kind of what people call the stereotypical noise bridger.
Yeah, that was me. Yeah. I changed a lot, and I think the changes are for the better. I like and appreciate my life more now. I feel like I have more options and opportunities.
Good. Good.
But-
You're being proactive in making your life better. That's good.
Yeah, but I also believe that if I can construct find enough understanding of the world, what I think I'm doing is science. I think I'm creating measurements for reality. I think that's what philosophy is. Like description is measurement. And so if you can accurately describe something in such a way that when you
go to high school and
that the fewest number of people disagree with your description, that's when you have the highest probability of really describing something that is real. I don't know if that's always true, but there's maybe it's like a local maximum. I don't know.
You're trying to solve philosophy.
And
Is
so
that
there,
it?
it's like half of my day.
I
was in the
no.
program web development.
I'm trying to solve living
and
well.
I also
But I
did
think that
robotics in high school, and
it's the most
so, and
important
the teacher's
area of
very
philosophy.
nice and very
It's
mean,
not the whole
basically
thing.
whatever the hell
It's
you wanted.
a
And so,
meaningful subset that I think
learned,
is
a lot
solvable.
of stuff
I mean,
because
that's
it's
not
so
too
it's
different
like-
than Buddhism.
It's amazing how
Really?
powerful it's like. Okay, 3 hours every day.
Just trying to seek
like,
your own
it's not,
content.
like, it's not prescribing what you have to do, but you're just doing something. And I learned so
Yeah,
much that way. And it's
but
still an environment that
I don't know, I've never
still
really
trying to
believed in
create, 'cause I was very good
Detachment
at
before. I might
shit.
practice it. I might try practicing. I've never been a huge fan of meditation. What is your take on meditation?
There's 10,000
College
paths
is also,
towards
well, I've
enlightenment.
gotten more, I kind of fell off robotics a little bit more.
You could
and
either
more
just
intermediate
let the universe take care of you.
stuff.
You can. I mean, a lot of other religious practices kind of actually are doing all pushing towards the same thing.
Yeah.
Some of them just have like very
Kind of-
idealistic models, but the goal is to not be completely attached to the outcome. God will take care of it. Jehovah will take care of it. Yahweh is, what's his name?
Hold on, here's a question. Is trying to be detached the same thing as being attached to the idea of detachment?
You can't. That can be a problem.
Really?
That is yes, and that's actually something that Buddhists actually had trouble with.
What? Why? How is that
Have you
possible?
worked with embedded Rust before?
How can you
Like-
be too detached?
It is very,
You could be so.
it's definitely challenging.
You could
And
be so
can tell it's,
detached
not
that
quite there yet, but I use it for all my embedded projects.
life has no
It's
meaning.
very-
I mean, someone who's
like,
really
embedded Rust,
deep in depression is sort
it's
of
like,
is
there's
detached
something very
in some ways.
satisfying about
Like
writing.
you're not.
I don't know if it's
the
huge
things that-
robotic stuff, it's like,
Yeah, there are problems with being too detached.
but-
Like if there's no difference between
Yeah,
you
oh,
living
yeah.
and you dying.
But Rust
Yeah.
is
Like-
very,
Yeah.
there's
I
an
mean,
emphasis
The-
on,
if
correctness.
like if someone living or dying means nothing, if
I always assumed that that's what they meant. Like that's like the logical conclusion of what I'm saying.
that's
right?
an extreme conclusion, but yes, you should probably
Even when it takes you like
you
2 hours
like
to do
oh,
something basic.
I'm not. It wouldn't devastate me if this person died in front of me,
Yeah.
but
I think it's a lot.
I'm gonna try to do what I can.
Okay.
You know.
Here's another question: what's the difference between
I
being
can
detached
evangelize
and just
things,
not
but
being attached to the wrong things? Maybe you should be attached to the right things.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay.
Like, I mean, I think that's. I mean, most of the things.
That has been my assumption in,
Like,
in philosophy
okay,
the whole time. Like,
If you're too
you know.
attached to someone's life, like some people,
Oh, yeah.
you never get over the death of a loved one, and they just can't move on with their life.
Yeah,
That's
you
what
just, like,
excessive
the main
detachment
character.
is.
Okay.
Would
Excessive attachment is.
Would either of you guys object to turning the light on?
No,
No, not at all.
Go for it.
Yeah, that's the difference. But but then again, not caring if your father died, I think, or your mother died, or your child dies. I mean, that might be a bit. That could be a bit. That could also be. It could. Yeah.
Okay. So if you think that is true, then you must believe, like I do, that there is a direction of things that are correct to care about, and there's an opposite direction of things that are less correct to care
I
about.
can't. I'll say this. I don't think I have sufficient reason to say that I'm being arbitrary about those attachments. But I'm just going to choose to say I'm being arbitrary with my attachments and accept the consequences of that. I can't. I don't know if I could ever say what I value is 100% like correct or will be considered correct in the future. Nor would I be. Then again, at the same time, I also wouldn't be mad if anyone else corrected me on it either. I'm always willing to change my mind on that. That's also what.
That is so zen.
Yeah.
That is so nice. I do think that like most of the stress in my life comes from believing that there is a best way to do things, but also all of the progress and increase in like general standard of happiness comes from that as well. It's very
Both are true.
yeah.
It's not.
I do like my life a lot better.
You found ways to
since
make your life better.
Yeah.
You found ways to make your life better, but you also found yourself a little bit too attached to the outcome of those improvements.
Yeah.
But both are good. both are. You only got one life to live, and you choose to spend your time as you have. I'm trying not to lament spending the life as I've spent it.
Yeah. I think maybe that's what I need to do because I think I've been very sad. Like I think that, like my journey down this path has been caused by trauma. Like I had a very difficult like early life.
Yeah, I can tell. But it's like it's not your fault, but it's your responsibility to try to deal with that with your shit.
Yeah.
It's like, and I really wish we had a better world.
I worry that if I let go, actually, I don't think it would happen. But I kind of my first instinct. I think the reason that I've waited to do it to let go of like letting that affect my perception of how good my life is because I've always assumed that was like a big part of the drive. But I don't think I'm not sure that that's true anymore. I think I've gotten to a place where like I feel much more good and whole, like good about like the basics of my life. I think I could let go of that.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
That is actually genuine.
Are you like you like certain sense? I mean, you probably went over. I don't know if I've had a particularly dramatic. Well, I guess I have made a dramatic change in my life. Something I thought like many times I was laughing at myself. I was like, dude, I can't believe I'm going to like a religious institution when I've like always mocked religious institutions.
Yeah.
And I've been.
So you recently converted to Google?
Yeah.
When?
I don't want to say to Google.
Okay.
I'm looking for a breadboard to solder. Like a breadboard I can fuck.
In adulthood.
Within the 2 years that I haven't spoken to you.
Oh. Were you atheist before that?
What?
Were you atheist before that?
Yeah.
Fascinating. Ooh, that's so interesting.
Well, it's because I didn't. I was always atheist. Well, it's complicated. I don't want to go and talk to Google about that. But did I?
That's crazy because I've done that inverse journey. Sorry, I'm very religious and I became atheistic. And
If you want to say the closest thing I was might have been Gnostic,
But where's the
which is, well, I didn't know if God was real or not.
is
But if
Buddhism
he was,
more
he
of
was
a philosophy or is it more of a religion? Like,
Yes.
do they have like religious institutions and like practices and stuff?
Yes.
What are they?
Meditation practices, chanting. Some of them appeal to gods and deities because they actually sort of incorporated, because being Buddhist and they're being very pragmatic, they would come in and say, "Oh, yeah, we converted your local spirit to Buddhism, so now you can become Buddhist too." So, and then they like. Some of it is like, yeah, we have to deal with the local, we have to appease the local spirits in order to, so it's like, yeah, they're still kind of always being very pragmatic and never like, they try to turn entities that were dangerous into something that would be like, a demon that would like cause people to have stillbirths would actually turn into like someone who, do I believe that's true? No, I don't necessarily believe that. But I do believe like the energy of that, of like taking something that clearly isn't working towards the good harmony of all, and just through being patient, but also and just sort of understanding how things work, you could actually change things towards a better outcome. And that's like the point of like trying to, I don't know, evolve, transmute the situation into something better. Is it?
Wait, I had a question. I think I forgot. Do Buddhists proselytize?
I haven't. There was like a giant march that they were trying to go on recently. They did some Buddhist monks went across the United States. I haven't seen them doing too much proselytizing, to be honest.
Yeah, it's so interesting because
I
I usually
converted-
think of Buddhism as a philosophy. I mean, like, or at least like I know I have
Like
I've seen the results of the philosophy in the culture.
Being
But
kind of a shitty laptop and being a shitty PC.
because they don't proselytize, it's so weird to think of them as a religion. Like, how did it become such an adopted ideology?
Oh, nice.
Well,
what
it-
models do you run?
everything comes from contrast. Everything comes from its origins. It started in India, more or less. You know the story of Siddhartha Gautama. You've heard of him?
Yeah. I read the book, or the one written by.
Wait, let me guess.
Who
Is it
wrote
3.6?
Siddhartha?
27B?
There's been a lot of stories about Siddhartha. I don't know which one you're talking about.
That's like the,
Okay,
that's like the
never mind. There's a book called Siddhartha. It's the name of the book.
Yeah.
Is that what you're talking about?
A variant.
I was reading
It's like a mixture
Dharma
of
Parta,
ones. I have a
which
GPU
is like
and
a story of,
server.
and also Wapula, something what the Buddha taught. Not all of it necessarily makes sense to me because a lot of it's like about the particulars of how he was contrasting his philosophy from
Do they have a Bible?
Hinduism. What?
Do they have a Bible or
No.
like a set of
No.
holy texts?
They have a bunch of texts.
I mean, but are they holy? Or are they just different thinkers?
Most of the time, people kind of just talked about the vibes about what Buddha after he did it, because and then there's also like people who are doing traditions of following the Buddha, and then they also develop their own like different versions of Mahayana, Theravada. I'm a bit more, of course, being a communist, I love Mahayana because that's like the great wheel. You're trying to like, with compassion, try to heal the world, kind of thing. It's like
Is a particular
That's Mahayana.
like interpretation of Buddhist
Yeah.
text?
you gotta.
Are there other interpretations?
There's like more of like focusing on the inward self. Try to, some of the older traditions were just about like, but for me, I kind of don't see that much of a large difference between myself and other. But I guess that's just sort of because of my particular weirdness. The concept of self and other, I kind of like. I used to kind of not draw the line too well, but now I kind of understand. But but I do also understand, like, I am you, you are me, we are all each other kind of in some way because we have all these properties together. The relationship between us is like your relationship with me, my relationship with you is part of who I am. I haven't known you too well or been too close to you, but but it's still, that's true like with every person I interact with. I am, because I still have memories of traumatizing things that other people have done to me, and they are still part of me. So that,
are you saying you would have more personality if you had more in history with more people?
No, I think that's just how everyone works. Everyone is
Their experiences.
Everyone is their experiences, and their experiences are of other people and things, and those things are also part of you.
I think that's true.
Like, they're part of the, like, what who are you if you don't know where you are in the world? Which, if the one phrase I don't understand is, I wouldn't do that if I were you. It's like, well, you're not. You would be me to a certain extent, but you wouldn't. But you don't have the same experiences I have. So I'm making a slightly different decision, or I have like these, or my wiring's different in this particular way, so I'll make this decision, Or certain things will give me more pleasure to do than this, so therefore I'll be more motivated to do this than you because you get more pleasure doing this.
This made me think about, are you a very social person? You seem more introverted.
I think I'm both.
Yeah.
Actually, it's this way. I'm not very social around large groups of people. I like just having a one-on-one conversation.
I'm sure it's an error here.
Classic
I do
introvert.
grab,
Introvert.
the
It is,
things,
for sure.
stopping iron in, but
Okay, fine. I'm INFJ.
Do you think
Can I
you
say?
could just grab me one from one of the things? Just like a little, the metal thing.
Because that's what I work on. It's like how to be more social, like how understanding social skills should translate to ease of experience and also better experience. That's what it means to have more social skills.
Okay.
And I also think that like introversion, extroversion. You give me so much to think about because
I think it's. I don't think you. I mean, you can force yourself to be more extroverted and more outgoing if you feel like you need more connection with people.
I don't believe it's a matter of force. It's like skill translates to technique. It's like trying to move a boulder with your muscle or with a lever. It's like the more you understand
get stronger
tools and
with it.
techniques, it's just like everything becomes easier. It's not a matter of forcing yourself. It's a matter of understanding.
Sometimes it's practice, gain muscle for using it.
Yeah. But
my job is talking to people.
actually, that's a great point. I didn't think of that. Like,
It was on the floor.
what's the difference between practice and skill? Like, if I can, like, because I always assume, like, if you can just like describe it well enough, it's the same thing as being able to transfer it to someone else.
No,
But I'm not sure.
I've described things to people, and because you went over a major transition, you kind of understand what a loss of self is, kind of, to a certain extent.
Yeah.
So you can kind of understand. So you can kind of understand that.
Yeah.
Because you've probably, I think you might have experienced ego loss through your changes.
Yeah, for sure. That's what I think introversion is, actually. Is identity loss anxiety.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could be this, I could be that. I mean, maybe part of me, I need to like come to terms with I'm not as smart as I thought I was.
Yeah.
That's also part of identity loss. And then that's also how I can get better at things.
Yeah.
You have to like, I mean, one of my problems is like in college, I kind of burned out because everything was too easy for me until I got to college.
Really?
I'm very, very verbal. I'm very, very verbally attuned. I'm very good at having a conversation with people. Like even when I was a kid, I was like a talk show host to adults all the time. But they always thought, and that was always rewarded. But I also don't have a very like you. Still have a lot of difficulty connecting with people, and I also feeling severely disappointed in other people.
Really?
And like, I don't know. It's just
You said I'm like that? I'm not like that? Not like me? Is that what you said?
sorry. What did I say about you? What do you think I said? I forgot.
Never mind.
I-
You have difficulty connecting with people.
Yeah. I mean, I like this conversation though.
Me too.
Yeah, I don't get to talk with people like this very often. A lot of people don't want to challenge themselves or are very, very dismissive. Or they'll just like rehash things about like, oh, this is bad, and then because this is bad in this way, it's like, oh, you know, like any other project, you could always iterate and improve. It's not, but also like nonsense explanations. Human nature, and I'm like, what do you mean by that? Like, people do things that you don't want them to do. So we could do things to make people less propensable to do those things we don't want them to do. Like, even in the darn Bible, they have like death penalties for murderers and stuff like that. You know, it's like there's if there's if bad things happen, you know, you just try to adjust things, make things. You could develop people's wealth. Then you could actually spread that wealth around, and then because the wealth is spread enough, you don't have as much crime. It's a safer society.
So this is like your way of connecting with the world is your philosophy. Your political philosophy. Like this is like you view this as like your service to humanity.
I'm trying to just
That is an embarrassing. That is an embarrassing.
Like,
Yeah, that is my limitation.
like the solder, it's like
Well,
maybe this would help.
Tell me more. What's your problem?
why is it a
The solder is
limitation?
not exactly sticking.
I mean, is it helping you connect with people more? Do you feel like you are gonna like leave a positive legacy because of this?
I burnt this and
Or do you?
I really do not know, but I'm trying to let go
maybe flux.
of the outcome of worrying about that because I don't think people feel safe. People don't believe anything, and I think
No, it will melt shit.
people are so been burned out and so disappointed by so many different institutions. I feel not to say that I'm not trying to discount what people tried. I just think it's like we end up telling so many bad stories about anyone trying to do anything better, and there's a pretty damn good reason why they do that. It's to keep it the same.
Wait, you think that there are like examples of people who were too idealistic, and we should try to not be like those people?
I also don't know if
No.
this is leaded solder.
So idealism and
It seems like
idealistic is different than
you
idealism.
can give it a taste.
Like, I wouldn't mind building like world communism. We create an interstellar species. We end up like colonizing the stars and all that good stuff. All that, and then if we end up interacting with the alien species that are weird and wonderful, we could try to end up developing pro-social relationships with them and learn from our cultures and find our limiting beliefs and understandings from them. It's like I do have like I don't think being utopian is necessarily wrong. It's being like, you know, you have like. So I think the best way to do it, it's like something that's both Buddhism and communism is like Gramsci said it best: optimism of the will, pessimism of the intellect.
I'm trying to look for one that does something like that.
That is utopianism?
No, that's the way of proper communist. And optimism of the will, pessimism of the intellect.
Pessimism of the intellect.
Pessimism of the intellect because you need to understand all the ways things go wrong. All the way things go wrong.
Yes.
Somebody walked me into because you look at
Can
Do you not use one of them? Or do you not use this?
Fuck that.
Oh shit. You said pessimism of the intellect because what?
Pessimism of the intellect is like just reading history, man. It's depressing.
You think people would have done different things in history if they were more intellectual? I feel like a lot of the negatives from history have come from hyper-intellectual people. They usually like hyper-intellectual people are usually intelligent, and they like Marx. Like I feel like Marx has had like a net negative effect on history because of all like the extreme examples of communistic systems breaking down. But at the same time, or at least like my impression of him has always been negative because he literally spawned an ideology that killed millions and millions of people. You know,
do you think that did the ideology kill those people?
If it didn't, I don't know what did. I guess that's what I'm saying. So like, I think you're saying that communism is sort of misunderstood and was not correctly implemented. And I think I don't know what correct communism is, or that would not kill a lot of people, that would not cause so many.
The revolution didn't kill people. Like it was the counter-revolution that there was violence. They were trying to stop it. And thus,
you think that like the other systems of the world push back too hard against communism?
Yeah.
Wait, well, what was like Stalin and Mao and all those famous people who were communists?
Okay, the Cultural Revolution was a bit overboard. I will give you that. The Cultural Revolution was, but at the same time, it's like
you don't think that it naturally is an ideology that breeds a dictator?
No. I don't
understand even that that's true. It's just like I think that's something that's been told to me is that like
that is what everyone says, but you need to look in comparison to other systems.
Like what?
Well, like the current system, you need to understand how the current system works.
Yeah.
You don't want to look at how the other system works and just focus it on the thing that is not your system without looking at your system. You look at both sides and then you say which is better. That's the way I look at it. It's not to say, oh, communism killed all those people. I'm like, well, how did it kill those people? Did it kill? And then second of all, did it actually kill those people? Like some of it's like a lot of it's historical revisionism. A lot of things that people count for like deaths of communism is like Nazis invading Russia. Do you think that those people should be counted as death from communism? I mean, yes, probably, but did they deserve it? Yeah. Like trying to commit genocide against another nation. Where
bullshit.
But I don't know. Would you call? And then there's like a civil war in China.
Yeah.
There were people who were trying, like people wanted to have like.
So you think it was just coincidental that when after a nation adopts communism or socialism, sometimes they spontaneously birth a dictator 10 years later, and then also like have mass genocide events?
It's not. It's
you want people.
No, it's not. Okay, I don't think it necessarily causes a genocide, but under those particular situations.
I don't think that it did. I think that it spawns a bad dictator, and then the dictator usually.
So do you think ideologies? So what do you think? What makes an ideology work?
Damn, I don't know.
The world is material, not ideas. Are just like responses to. They're just reflections of reality.
These are just responses to reflections of reality. God, I hope that that's true, but I don't know if that's always true. I feel like communism is one of those things where, like, it seems kind of disconnected from reality. I mean, like.
Do you know what it helped with? Do you know what? Do you know what good it was? Like, you could focus on the deaths. You could also focus on whether or not, like, to what extent those deaths are true. some like the Black Book of Communism also like does really, really shady accounting for how they count for deaths. Sometimes they do stuff like count. We anticipated that there was going to be a bunch more people being born, but because those people were not born, we count those as deaths. Are we going to like count people who died from multiple? How
do you propose to do communism in such a way that does not breed a dictator, does not breed mass genocide?
Well, do you know have you heard of the concept of the dictatorship of the proletariat?
No, I don't think so. Please remind me if I.
So, I guess you're kind of looking at it from like an anarchist point of view, but I guess that's kind of normal for like Americans. So,
I don't know if it's anarchist. I think it's actually my main influences growing up were it's not anarchist. I don't remember the name of this ideology. It's like when you think that government is bad, you want less of it.
That's anarchist
It's
or
not
libertarian.
anarchist. Libertarian, yeah. My influences were libertarian.
Yeah, that's
but I think libertarian is it's like on that side of the spectrum towards anarchy. It's like it's sort of like a.
I just think like government should exist to serve as the will of the people, to service the interests of the people. It's just an institution that acts as an intermediary where individuals cannot help themselves. Like, you can hire out experts, or use it as an insurance policy to like it sort of acts like as an insurer of last resort for all the problems in society.
I would love to know what books that you think are the like top 5 or 10 books that you would tell somebody to read.
There's one particular book I think is actually just been a very good summary. It's the introduction to it's actually pretty good. You actually read Black Shirts and Reds, didn't you?
That's like an allegory with sci-fi, right? Okay.
You said you read that book.
I think I have read a book that had a similar name to that, but I'm not sure if it was called Black Shirts and Reds or Red Shirts.
It's Black Shirts and Reds by Michael Parenti.
I think the one that I'm thinking of was called Red Shirts, and it's like a sci-fi allegory. Sorry, different book. Tell me about this book.
Black Shirts and Reds. It goes into the history of the USSR and its relationship with, I don't know, sort of in contrasting it with the capitalist system of Germany, and why a lot of people died from that. But also, like, what are the good things that were accomplished? And he also does go into some of the things that were bad. Like,
wait, so does he saying that there are good things that overshadow like the killing of that many people? Like
they didn't kill them. There's an exaggeration to the number of people. There were people killed, but then there's also some things that are considered kills that actually were not kills. There's things that they'd say, hey, we purged them.
Actually,
they were purged, but it's like, okay, what does purging mean? It means that because they were like cooperating with the enemy, we took away their right to vote, but then later on we gave it back to them under certain circumstances due to a very particular political situation. But counting that as a death is just factually wrong.
Oh, well, here's a follow-up question. Like, when do you think it is appropriate, because you're a political theorist, when do you think it's appropriate to defend or advance your ideology with violence? Are you a pacifist?
No. I think violence is necessary under certain circumstances, when no other circumstance.
This is something I have never actually really spent very much time thinking about. I grew up around people who were like really, I feel like stupid, sort of like gun nut conservative people.
I think there is a time for violence and a time for non-violence, but generally don't go out shooting people unless you don't really have any other choice. But if you end up you don't know the other side of what the United States did. You need to get a look at the bigger picture, and I think you always usually find that the communist groups usually end up being, while not perfect, usually end up end up actually running things better.
Yeah.
Like they end up meeting the needs of the people better. That you just need to look at that in the contrast of, you say, death. That's a yes, but like, would these people have died anyway? Is that true? And to what extent is that like? It's like, why did these? If you want to look into the people dying, why did they die? To what extent did they die? And then I'm like, a lot of these aren't people dying. Some of these people were just like fascist assholes who just wanted to like abuse ethnic supremacists, and there was a whole bunch of them trying to like commit a genocide. What do you do? Like, there's some things I'd say that were kind of sussy about the USSR, and I like how China learned from it. Like, from some of the things that I thought were a bit questionable. Like, I don't know. There were things that would technically be said a genocide that the USSR did.
Yeah.
But the type of genocide they did was just like move people around so that they're like, so that they wouldn't like identify with their cultural identity. So they didn't kill them. They just wouldn't identify with their culture anymore, and then they could be proud Soviet Russian citizens. And the people were saved. But under the UN's definition of genocide,
that is genocide, right?
It is still
destroying somebody's culture.
But it is technically genocide. Yeah. But China has kind of learned an interesting way around trying to you could be of this particular culture, but you could also be a Chinese citizen. You could do both without having to do cultural genocide.
What about? Do you think that that's a positive example of communism executed well? What do you think of the Chinese system?
It's an improvement. Unlike a lot of people, I actually think they're doing pretty well. They did it pretty well. They're doing it better than anyone else has before, and maybe someone else will do better than them later, but that is yet to happen. That's my position. It's not perfect. No one's perfect.
Interesting. You say you think it's going to happen, but it hasn't happened yet.
Yeah, I'm not fighting for.
You're not. I was actually low key expecting you to be a pacifist. You're way less pacifist than I was expecting.
Well, it's just I don't cling to the idea of nonviolence.
I guess. Yeah, nonviolence.
I just don't get it. I don't get into fights, and I don't think that you should try to kill your way to solve problems. But if you're like an ethnic minority and like some motherfucking clan motherfuckers are coming in to try to wreck your shit, you do what you gotta do. I have no problem with people killing cops. I'm kind of surprised people haven't killed more cops, and I have no problem. I wouldn't do anything. It's like,
well,
I wouldn't actively do it though. No, would I act?
He's like, would I stop it though? No.
No, yeah.
Would I do it? No, but would I stop it? Not really.
No, I didn't see Luigi.
That's hella progressive. I'm surprised. I don't know if that's the right word. That's way more like. That's an interesting thing. I feel like I've kind of. I don't know how wise it is to be extreme about like being nonviolent, but also like I think ideology is like super important. And if somebody was trying to teach, like force an ideology onto me that I fundamentally thought was bad, I think like I would try my hardest to avoid violence. But at the end of the day, like if somebody's trying to teach me something that I think is not true, or like force propaganda in my throat, I think I would feel justified.
Yeah, I know. And that's why I'm also not expecting you to believe me and be on my side 100% just from one conversation. No.
Yeah.
That's the nature of it. But I'm just saying, hey, I'm not. Also, I do think the historical materialism book by Luna Ward is really good. It's like a bunch of class books for Vietnam's communist system.
Wow.
And it's like they translate it to English. And it goes down to like very basic first principles.
That's true.
And also contrast it with pretty much all other Western philosophy. I wish they did a bit more contrasting with Buddhism, but I'm like, more I'm reading into both, I kind of find, I don't know. Then again, maybe not all Buddhism is the same. Like, there's like an idealistic and a materialistic version of Buddhism. So there's like,
You said idealistic and materialistic?
Yeah.
What does materialistic say?
well, they call
Are
it. Like,
you on the materialistic side?
yeah, I'm a materialist.
What's the idealistic side then? Like, the idealism insinuates that they promote a correct way of doing things instead of like being more like.
There is a known Buddha nature.
Okay.
There is
That's the idealistic way.
Yeah, I mean, although there's been a lot of arguments about what enlightenment is, but I don't think I'm I've only heard a few things. I don't think I'm as confident in describing the various schools of Buddhism other than the particular school that I found. But I've read a bit about Siddhartha Gautama, but like the different schools of Buddhism, I kind of find they're not in my first language, so I don't think I necessarily understand the fundamental differences, and they don't seem to make a material difference in the world, so I don't particularly concern myself with it. I think you should just live your life and try to do like what you think is right, and also reduce your own suffering and reducing the suffering of others. And I don't think that's, yeah.
Wait. So you were not Buddhist previously?
No.
And now you are.
Yeah.
So did you research the sects of Buddhism before
No.
you decided to become a Buddhist?
No, I just joined. I kind of did it on a whim.
Okay.
I kind of did it because life experiences guided me that way. To go to a Buddhist place, because I realized it was my attachments that was causing the suffering.
So that is a universal tenet of Buddhism, is that attachments are bad? Or are the different sects who believe different things?
They cause suffering. Whether or not you think all suffering is bad,
Yeah.
I mean, is another question.
Yeah.
I do think that is universally true. All attachments cause suffering. But some, should you feel happy when you're, should you feel no pain whatsoever? Would it be a bad thing to feel no pain whatsoever under certain circumstances? Yeah, I agree. Or it's like, oh, I should just be happy to starve to death. Let all those people. It's a reason. It's actually people's fault when the peasants should just accept starving to death. I mean, you could take it that way, like a very anti-proletarian.
Does Buddhism have commentary on political violence?
Yeah, I don't. They generally say no. Yeah, the Dalai Lama is, well, he has his. There's two different Tibetan sects. One kind of also has his own political thing, but it kind of comes from like just the material nature of where he came from.
Wait, are the monks who practice martial arts Buddhist ever?
The Shaolin, yeah. I don't know.
Buddhist?
Yeah.
Are they violent though, or do they just practice martial arts as a meditation?
Yes.
Both?
But historically, they were also used because it's useful to have a bunch of people who train to fight all day. Like, it's never, nothing ever is like perfect. It's probably less than what people wanted, but hey, you need to be able to get your temple funded, and you just have these people who know how to fight that just so happen to be useful.
Yeah.
Like, everything is like, nothing is perfect. Nothing, so there's like, yeah, it's like.
So like, how do other Buddhists feel about that?
I actually don't know much about that. Sorry.
Oh,
I
interesting.
haven't studied that too much.
Yeah.
I have my own opinions, but I don't know what good they are. I really don't have a strong opinion too much though. Just like, it's one way to be present.
Yeah.
It's one way. The idea is just about being present.
Consider yourself a serious Buddhist?
Serious?
Yeah, like, is it your primary view for the world, or is it just like the closest thing you like to?
It's a thing that I just found no problem. It's the only religion I found no problem with. It's the only one I couldn't really find any reason to reject.
Yeah, but you have some like small disagreements with it, though, right?
There's so many different sects of Buddhism, and you don't really have to cling to any particular one.
Yeah.
And it's not. The point is not to like. It's about trying to do what's right and what you see is right. They're not like, but also not like clinging to even your own understanding of right and wrong. Like it's like they're not like dictating. Oh, you should be doing this. You should be doing this. It's like. I mean, that's like maybe that's because I'm like going to like a very, very progressive Buddhist place because of the particular material conditions. I'm in San Francisco. What do you expect a San Francisco place to be like? It's a reflection of where it is.
Yeah.
It's not like it's not the ideal. The idea is always impacted by the reality of the world that it is. It's not. I don't know what the pure idea is. There's parts I agree with. The central points, yes. Are there some points that I find a bit like I don't know. As long as you're not causing suffering, this is all that's important. But I also think like each and every worker, each and every person's perspective is important. But unless they're lying or they're being like fed propaganda that's like not true, because I know my own experience. I don't necessarily know an experience what happened. I'll have to like, it's a little bit more harder to do research on things that are further away from me. And I come to understand it's like, I don't know all of it.
Yeah.
But I do think in general, the socialist process it's not a dictatorship. It never was. Even the CIA admits that. Stalin was not a dictator.
No.
He wasn't. He made mistakes. Yes. He kind of suffered from being too good at his job, I guess you could say. And then there was also people who wanted to use him, sort of idolize him, which is also another set of problems, which I don't think is good to like have like idol worship of any living human being.
Isn't Stalin the one who killed the most people? Wasn't there was mass starvation under Stalin, right? As a direct consequence, this is what I've been taught.
I know it is what you've been taught.
But
that is what you've been
as
taught.
a direct consequence of the communist ideology being a worse one economically and caused mass starvation events.
Okay, there was starvation.
Yeah.
But was there starvation before it?
I don't know, was there?
There was.
But
there was also.
Oh yeah, but okay, hang on. Like keeping in mind, of course, like so you can tell me why you're talking about that. But like the thing that I've always been taught is that like contrasting communists, like Stalin's communist Russia, with the rest of the world who were practicing communism and the material wealth that exploded everywhere else where the communism was not being practiced, seems like a clear difference. No,
that's not what happened.
Okay, no, tell me.
It's a bit. Yeah, I don't think that is an accurate story.
I'm here for it. I want to know.
That's not it. It's more like there were good things that happened, but let's take a look at this. You need to look at which do you think you should compare? Should I compare? Do you compare? When you're doing science, do you use a thing called a control? What is a control?
It's like the default, thing that will happen if you don't do anything.
Almost. So, what is the thing that does not change?
I don't know.
That's what the control is.
Yeah.
Or maybe I'm being a bit too pedantic, but it's like, what was Russia in the 1940s? The 1910s. What was Russia like in the 1910s? Versus what was the United States like in the 1910s?
Yeah.
Were they very similar?
I don't know. I don't remember any stories about starvation events.
You don't know anything.
I guess there was like the Dust Bowl, and
That was in the United States, yeah.
I don't know. I actually don't know what time period that was. That was like around 1900, 1910, right? Like they mentioned the automobile,
Yeah.
but not quite World War II.
Yeah. There was that.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was mass starvation under capitalism. There was starvation under other things. I mean, okay, here's some of like the particular things. It's like, if you want to compare, like, let's talk about the gulags. Like, if they've actually done like measurements of like the gulags before the Tsar and then after the Tsar. Those are like, that's more of measuring the same thing rather than saying comparing two different countries with two different histories.
Yeah.
Which do you think is a better way to try to measure something before or after, or compare two things at different times with different histories?
This is fascinating. I love this perspective. I've never heard this before. Yeah, I've actually always thought that like the American history that we're taught in schools is really, really kind to America. And I've always thought,
way,
it's like watered down.
Oh God, it
It's
is.
skipping like 90%.
It is. It is.
It's definitely skipping 80%, maybe 90% of like relevance. It just
It
really
doesn't
does.
really make sense. I always
It
found
just
it
skims
hard.
the main point.
I feel like
Especially,
they weren't always admitting like the most important thing. It's like
yeah, even
it's
American
just like
history.
it's just like, oh, yeah, then this thing happened, and then this thing happened, then this thing happened. And I'm like, huh, but why? I don't know. It's just things are just getting better. We're getting better. Yeah, it's like I do agree, but it's like, but sometimes they kind of omit that most of the history of America didn't come from people submitting to America. It came from people acknowledging injustice and fighting against it.
You're saying that like America's interaction with the rest of the world has been mostly negative, or America's interaction with itself.
I mean, I think here's the thing. I think it's more important as an American to be critical of America. I think as an American, I should be more critical of America than Russia. But I'm okay with Russians being more critical of Russia than America. And I'm okay with like Chinese people being critical of China because it's their place to criticize China to make it better because they're the ones most impacted by it.
I'm gonna grab something on my bag. Do you mind walking with me?
Yeah, sure.
Wait, I'm gonna bring you some toast.
I love the work that happens. Oh man, it's really tough. Can't even hear the echo.
It works really good. When the door is closed, you can't have it switch off.
Solder it up.
Yeah, I'm doing intermittent fasting, so.
Yeah? That's cool. How long have you been doing that?
A couple weeks. No, about a month now. Didn't lose that much, but it seems to be steady enough, though.
Interesting. I feel like it's really good for your. Supposed to be really good for your like blood sugar levels if you have like diabetes.
Yeah. Well, I don't know about diabetes, but it can't hurt to do anyway. I just wanted to lose some weight, and unlike you, I don't like putting way too much effort into things. So I'm just not doing something is easier than doing something.
Fascinating. I mean, but being high effort is kind of really good for you. I mean, like,
Yeah. No, I'm
like
not saying-
working out. If that's what you're talking about, working out is like really good for you.
Well, the thing I found a bit easier to do, just because it isn't too different than what I'm already doing, but seems to work anyway, is rucking.
What is that?
Oh, just walking around with a backpack. Across the city, going up and down the hills.
Okay.
Because it doesn't feel like a workout. I'm just enjoying myself. I don't know. Something about just going into. I don't know. Maybe it's because I just never was indoctrinated into like the. Like here's one thing that is always kind of weird about Christians and people who, like American Christianity also affects like the way communism is also implemented as well.
Yeah.
People, Americans and like a lot of Christians think they valorize suffering. And they think that suffering is good.
Yeah.
It's kind of like something that's like ingrained in Americans for like a lot of like the way they think about things. I'm not saying that like, yeah, it's like that. It's actually very anti-Buddhist.
Like
so,
Protestant thinking.
yeah, Protestant work ethic. Yeah.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah, my dad was that way. My dad believed in working hard for his own sake.
Yeah.
And sometimes he's a smart guy. He would say things like work harder, work smarter, not harder. But he never actually like really implemented it in his career. He was always just like really believed in like putting his head down and getting the job done and like working his ass off. He did that, and I was a time when I respected it for it, and then eventually I lost respect for it because I was just like, dude, you're not thinking about where you're going. You're just like focusing on the moment and just like working your ass off.
My dad was like that too.
You're spending too much effort.
Yeah.
Like, you're not getting anywhere.
Yeah, it's like towards what end? Like I honestly I grew up kind of lucky. My dad worked really hard, spent a lot of time away from my family. I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't be that particularly surprised if my dad had another family.
No.
like that amount of time.
No.
But I also don't. But I would only say that as a relay. I wouldn't say that to my mom and my brother.
Yeah.
But like he was always on business trips. And I don't know, if I ever have kids, I do want to be more present.
What's up?
So, yeah. Didn't come here. I wasn't expecting that tonight would turn out this way, but I'm not happy either way.
Look, I'm gonna respond to this. Yeah.
Oh, just get my message? Huh. Did you get my message?
The test one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, alright. Yeah, because I stopped using regular Signal.
Yeah? Why?
Couldn't. I have a Graphene OS phone.
Does it work?
It works. It just doesn't tell me that I got whether or not you got a message or not. That's all. It's kind of funny. Yeah, sorry. I'll come by next Monday though.
Oh, yeah, no, single.
Thank you for still keeping up with it though. I really appreciate that.
Fuck.
Just a quick question. What are you going to be going over next week? I'd like to be able to set it up. I mean, there's actually a really interesting story to that. There was a lot of American ideals kind of come from like this idea that's kind of like we don't talk about as much, but there was like Britain and British people kind of thought that they were the Israelis, and United States kind of was like the new Israel, the shining city on the hill, the place where we could, and also like Joseph Smith of the Mormon Church also had that idea that Jesus came to America, and also the hilarious reason why the Mormons, a lot of them are in the FBI. There's a
I
certain,
never knew where it came from though. Like it's a weird thing that seems to be in like Jesus-centered perspectives.
that
American exceptionalism. I don't know, or like it's like I guess also a lot of conservatives.
well, yeah.
They really,
I mean-
really celebrate America like it's God's gift to the world. There's definitely some cool things about America, but I'm not sure it's as exceptional as they always seem to think it is.
Yeah.
It's like
There's cool things about it.
yeah,
And I honestly do think, like, in some ways, America is more progressive than a lot of other countries that I still do admire. Like, America in some ways is more progressive than...
about what? Like name something like free speech. You think? Or
No, I wouldn't say free speech. No, actually, no. Right now, we're probably worse. Probably worse for free speech than some other countries. But, I mean, unless you want to, like, talk about, like there there are documented instances of people who are telling the truth disappearing under mysterious circumstances.
oh, I'm sure, but like,
The United States,
but
they're like very suspicious people who like allegedly committed suicide with like to the back of the head. Like the guy, I forgot the guy's name, but he like reported.
shot himself in the back of the head.
Well, he shot him twice.
It's funny.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no. It's God, what his name was. I keep on thinking it's James Gunn, but I know that's not him. But he was like this man who actually confirmed that the CIA was actually creating the crack epidemic among black people. Like, it was confirmed by a bunch of people, and the police were complicit. Also, remember, what was that Indian kid who I don't know 100%, but I kind of believe it, but it doesn't really matter if it's true or not. Like that kid who got killed in SF, the police checked in on him. He was trying to report a bunch of reasons why OpenAI is actually doing everything illegal, and and he was going to.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah, he was going to testify against OpenAI, and then he turned up supposedly suicide.
Yeah, and
I remember that.
there was a police checkup, and I'm like, okay, so either he got assassinated or the SFPD did a hit on him. And in the end of the day, though, you don't know which happened, or maybe who knows? Maybe that story is true, but I feel like that's the least likely.
It happened here in San Francisco.
Yeah.
You think that, dude? The SFPD isn't going to do hits on people. That's not the people who be doing.
I mean,
The
I wouldn't put it
SFPD.
past them, but it's also they could have just
just
said
like-
negligence, or
It's
they
not-
helped
dude,
cover
it's
it up.
that's what I'm saying. Wouldn't it have been the SFPD? It would have been like a private assassin because,
Yeah.
that's not what the SFPD does. They don't assassinate people. That's not their skill set.
I mean, they could.
wouldn't. Anybody could.
It's
But
trivial
it's
for
like-
police to do it. I'm not saying they did it, but I'm saying it's not. I'm not saying one way or the other. I don't know what happened, but
I'm just saying, like, if anyone paid somebody to assassinate the guy, and that would have probably been OpenAI, and OpenAI isn't going to go to the police department. They're just going to hire a private assassin because they got hella money.
they got hella money. True, but the police ruled it a suicide with no investigation. There has to be some complicity.
I don't know, but what were we talking about?
I mean, unless it was the mysterious CIA heart attack gun, but if you ever heard of that, there is a type that it's declassified that it is real. They do have a weapon that actually allows people to have heart attacks. That can give people a heart attack, but also leaves no trace.
I'm trying to figure out where you fall on the liberal conservative scale.
Either. I mean, I don't know if
Because most people who are practicing some sort of like Eastern mysticism / philosophy are usually on the liberal side, not on the conservative side. You have a lot of like beliefs that are I associate with conservative viewpoints. No judgment. I feel like I have some friends who literally like if you're a conservative, it means you're like a sociopath. And I don't think that because I grew up around conservatives, but also
Yeah, no, I think it's just a matter of recognition. It's a recognition for the pessimism of understanding how fucked up the world can be.
Yeah.
But also, it's both. You have to stare both in the face. You have to look at both. You can when something's not working, you don't blind yourself to it. That's what a lot of liberals do. When something's not working, they blind themselves to it, and then the conservatives say, "Why try?" So then the communists say, "Well, let's try to do it better next time." That's kind of like the way I try to do it. Like it's a very engineering kind of mind, but it's a way of like trying to do politics instead of saying, "Hey, no, we need to like dedicate ourselves to doing these particular tactics." It's like, no, these tactics are means to an end.
It's very evolved of you. I don't know. I guess like a religion is a philosophy. There's a lot of things that where I'm not sure where the religion started and stopped in the philosophies that I was taught like when I was younger. Because a lot of like politically conservative people who also had like a lot of the same like philosophical takes, and I don't know. Yeah, you're all over the place. You don't fall neatly into one camp or the other. I think you're kind of like a.
Oh, really?
You're like a true original thinker, which I appreciate a lot because I really disliked all of the conservative and liberal thinkers that I was exposed to when I was younger. I felt like they all had giant blind spots and like willingly embraced them.
Well, it's because here's the reason why I could do this. Is because I don't think that there is any party right now that I have to defend.
Yeah.
So I have no attachments to my nation, no political party, no leader. But at the same time, I have respect for some particular political parties above others, but most of them aren't in my nation.
I like that.
So it's not my place.
Yeah. I wish you could talk about yeah, you know Daniel Sauterfield's doing tea?
No. Or maybe. I'm bad with names, man.
I guess I don't think you come around often enough.
No, I haven't recently. I'll be coming around more. I'm not going to be attached to the outcome. One of the reasons I left is I was too attached to the outcomes of not getting what I wanted out of Noisebridge.
Yeah.
And now I feel a bit more comfortable doing that. But I'm also not like attached to like, oh, I need to be going to Noisebridge all the time, because I used to do it way too much. I'd stayed way too late, and I kind of suffered for it. But I want to contribute, but I also don't want to like over contribute. You know?
Yeah. You have a job, right?
Yeah, technically. That's not what's keeping me.
No.
Would you like some bread to go with your ramen?
Oh, I'm good. Thank you. I actually had 2 bagels already.
Oh.
A ridiculous amount of bagels.
Yeah.
They eat in one sitting. I was just like, fuck, it's so good.
My job is not a reason that I don't come here.
Fair enough, but
It's more like I just didn't see. I was hoping I'd be able to find somebody to be able to teach me something useful. I usually just never found that.
yeah.
I don't know if that means me being a bit too arrogant, but I mean, there's only one person who actually taught me anything. It's kind of funny, but he doesn't come here that often either.
Yeah, it's been a long time. I guess like there's probably are people who could teach me things that are like software related, but not in any other ways that I care about.
Well, I mean, that's kind of the nature of this place.
Yeah. You come here for software people. I know you don't actually. You're not really.
No, actually,
you don't really
you
hobnob
don't-
with other software people much.
You
I don't
don't
think.
understand my goal.
What is your goal?
You don't understand my goal. My goal has actually always been the same. but I've let go of seeking it. I was trying to teach people something so that they could help me with my project. And now I'm working on my project. I'll talk to you about that, but not with that.
Okay. We interrupt.